Blood types and blood transfusions by Celine and Emily. Blood types.
There are four main blood groups. These are A, B, AB, and O. These groups are determined by the genes you inherit from your parents. For example, if your mother's blood type is AB and your father's blood type is AB, your possible blood type is A, B, or AB. "47% of the world's population has Group O, making it the most common one in the world. Blood groups A-B-O show an example of allele domination, as both A and B alleles are dominant over O. As a result, if an individual has a genotype of AO, it will have a phenotype of A, as blood type A dominates O. People who have type O has OO genotype. Lanster, a physician, had observed two distinct chemicals molecules present on the surface of a red blood cell. He labeled one of the molecules A and the other B. If a molecule has both A and B labeled on it, the blood type would be AB. And if the red blood cell had only A molecules on it, the blood type would be A. And if the molecule had neither of them, then the blood type would be O. Donating blood. Group A has A antigens on the red blood cell with anti-B antibodies in the plasma, which means they can only donate to Group A or AB. Group B has B antigens with anti-A antibodies in the plasma, meaning Group B can only donate to Group B or AB. And Group AB has both A and B antigens and no antibodies, and meaning Group AB can only donate to AB. And for Group O, there is no antigens and has both anti-A and anti-B in the plasma, making it a universal donor. This means it can donate red blood cells to any of the different blood types.
Blood transfusions. What is it? A blood transfusion is a simple procedure in which blood is passed through a small tube called an IV line and enters the body through a little needle that's inserted into a vein. Why do people need it? Blood transfusions can be used to help a person who is unable to make enough blood or to replace lost blood after an accident. Blood transfusions can also be used as a treatment for cancer and to prevent complications from an existing blood or bleeding disorder. Where does the blood come from? The blood that is used comes from blood donors. The blood is not always whole blood. It can be one of blood's components. For example, if a person has cancer, they may choose to have a blood transfusion instead of chemotherapy, as chemotherapy can affect bone marrow, whose job is to produce new blood cells. In this case, a transfusion of red blood cells can be helpful to the person with cancer. Rejection and acceptance of blood. All blood contains the same basic components, for example, red blood cells, white blood cells, platelets, and plasma. However, the types of antigens on the surface of the red blood cells differ. Antigens are proteins and sugars that our bodies use to identify blood cells as belonging to our own system. They are microscopic, however, they make the difference between blood being rejected and accepted into our bodies after a blood transfusion. This is why blood types are grouped according to their antigens. If the blood is not accepted, the result can be fatal and potentially lead to the death of the recipient. Facts.
Blood transfusions are one of the most common hospital procedures.
Unpaid donors contribute 100% of the blood supplies in 60 countries.
Approximately 108 million blood donations are collected each year.
Blood transfusions can take between 1 to 4 hours, depending on the amount of blood being transfused and the blood type of the recipient. The end.